Welcome to the Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here. You a concerned resident there. Nice day out here today as I'm taping this. It'll be nice all during the week. I think on Saturday it's going to rain, but Sunday looks pretty good. Hopefully we are out of the winter. February is a tough month, but so is March. March can break your knees, you know what I mean? Bring you down to your knees. Hopefully it comes in like a lamb and leaves like a lamb. It just broke as we're taping this today. The boss, Bruce Springsteen, has been fined $500, and they dropped the charges for the DUI and all these other trumped-up things. You know, it's a shame when the boss, a Jersey Shore icon, can get in trouble in Sandy Hook, and he was witnessed having like 2 swigs of tequila. That's not going to get you drunk, unless you're the first time you ever had tequila. And I'm almost going to guarantee that Bruce has had many tequilas in his life. So good for the boss. He got hit with $500. Everything else was dropped on him. He got hit for drinking in public. Basically, that's what it is. On March the 4th, you had the Ocean County GOP convention, where there's their screening committee. You know, unfortunately, we lost Tom Kelaher. We're going to talk about Tom in the first segment. They're going to be screening his state committee person seat, and it's going to be fireworks because there's a lot of seats. You got commissioner seats. You have you got some council races coming up in Tom's River. There is a lot of political intrigue. The renaissance of George Gilmore. You're going to see George Gilmore operating like George Gilmore on March the 4th. It will be interesting to watch. I wish I could be there. Today our topics, of course, is the passing of former Mayor of Tom's River, Tom Kelaher. Mo Hill is getting recall robocalls. You may have gotten one. Tom's River development and early voting. We're going to talk all about that when we come back from commercial. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2720. We're back. You're watching the Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here. You're a concerned resident there. As a Tom River resident, you probably received some calls concerning a possible recall of Mo Hill. Now, our recall election works is you can't recall anybody until they serve 1 year in office, and you need 15,000 signatures in Tom's River to recall Mo Hill, which is a daunting task, getting 15,000 signatures, but not as hard as it used to be because we're allowing the petitions to be done online. I don't go for any of those online petitions. You know, I'll sign a petition. If I'm against what you're writing this petition for and collecting signatures, I'll sign it because you were out there in the street, in the cold, in the weather, getting those signatures. That's a lot of commitment. Online, I really have no respect for those petitions. But obviously, somebody has an issue with Mo Hill. And there's those robocalls going. We'll go over some of the questions. Let me tell you what happens when you're the new mayor. I happen to like Mo Hill. I produced shows for him during the campaign. For that matter, I've been talking to Mo about coming in and doing a show, once a month meeting with the mayor like we do with Mayor Fulop in Jersey City. He needs to get positives out to the public. But we keep going back and forth about that, and he's putting out fires here and there. When you take over a city from one mayor to another, especially a long-term mayor, you get into the office, your first day, you start opening the drawers on that mayor's desk, there's a lot of demons that jump out of there. And many mayors, try to keep all the balls in the air. They don't want to hit you with a lot of taxes or fees. So there's a lot of games that are played to keep the budget reasonable. Some of us call it kicking the can down the road. Some mayors, like in North Bergen or in Union City, with Nicholas Sacco and Brian Stack, respectively, they're going to be the mayors of those municipalities for as long as they want. They don't kick the can down the road because they're going to be down the road. When Mo got into office, he found a lot of problems, and he had to deal with those problems. He found some shortfalls in the budget. Then COVID-19 came. It's kind of hard to judge Mo on his first year in office with all of that. Your first year in office is always daunting, and you got to deal with COVID that killed your economy, killed your municipal budget. It's a very tough time. But somebody is trying to put doubt in the minds of Tom River resident. And here's some of the questions. Now, this is courtesy of the Shore News Network. I got all this from the Shore News Network. You can see them online. One of the first questions, Mayor Hill increased Toms River property taxes by the largest percentage in 13 years. Based on this decision, would you support recalling Mo Hill? Of course, press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. Now, according to the Shore News Network, Mo Hill has proposed an initial tax increase of 7%. He reduced that down to 6%, becoming the largest tax increase in the township in over a decade. I deal with in North Hudson, some of the best mayors in New Jersey. Nicholas Sacco is the template for a good mayor. I've said this time and time and time again. Whatever Nicholas Sacco in North Bergen does today, you do tomorrow, you'll be a successful mayor. Same thing with Brian Stack in Union City. Senator Brian Stack, and also with Nicholas Sacco. He is mayor and Senator Nicholas Sacco. In there's a third member in that trifecta there, very successful mayors, and that's Stephen Fulop of Jersey City. These guys managed to hold the reins on their government. But when they first come in, there's that demon that comes out of the door. It's like, whoa, what is that? You got to come up with some money. Mayor Fulop he's running for his third term now. I think Mayor Fulop raised the taxes in his first term, I think 6%, and there was never another tax increase until this year. Mayor Fulop raised it 2%. So that's 8% over 8 years. Probably not bad. Mayor Sacco and Mayor Stack, those two guys, you might get a 1% a year, maybe 2%. But these guys have long-term vision for their communities. I'm not sure if Mayor Fulop, he's running for his third term, he'll be one of those guys that's the mayor for 25, 30 years, like Stack and Sacco will be. But those guys are completely dedicated to their communities. I kid around with Nick Sacco in North Bergen as the kingdom, and Brian Stack being a deity in Union City. They are dyed in the wool, North Bergen and Union City people. I don't know if Mo will be that way. I'm not sure if Mayor Fulop would be. Maybe he should. He's young enough that he can do about 30 years. But that's what happens when you come into office that first year. There is many surprises that you're going to run into. Right now, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Tom's River Show. I'll be right back.
You know those times when you need to see the doctor, but you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away. From any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are.
Quality care, no appointment necessary. The doctor is online when you download the Telemed app.
Don't you feel better already?
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, Retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
We're back. Tom Dribber Show. Pat O'Melia here. You there? And let's continue with the Mo Hill robo recall calls. That's hard to say. The second one was Mayor Mo Hill has agreed to reduce the acreage required for houses of worship. Not sure he agreed to do that. But let me tell you what happens with that. The municipality is almost in a no-win situation. It's the Kobayashi Maru from Star Trek. You're not going to win this. The feds are going to side with the houses of worship. So what Mo and Tom's River and many municipalities have to do is find some sort of a happy medium. Is he going to be able to hold strong on the 10 acres? I don't think so. The feds are going to step in. Can you get maybe 5, keep it at 5 acres? Because the problem is, if you don't have some size, some amount of acreage, you're going to have houses of worship pop up all over the place. Then they become not-for-profits. They don't get taxes. There's no ratables, and it comes back and bites the municipality on the butt. Mo Hill is not going to win that fight to keep it at 10 acres. It ain't going to happen. One of the third question was Mo Hill's running mates in the year ago election, along with Councilwoman Maria Maruca, voted to support Mo Hill in each of these decisions, tax increase, acreage. Would you support recalling the members of the council who supported Mo Hill's policy? Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. Tax increase, nobody likes to hear it, but they're inevitable. 6% is a lot. Hopefully, as Mo goes forward, there either is none or 1%. You look at the budget that Governor Murphy just announced. There's no increase, but we increased all the spending. But the state did a lot of borrowing. I'm going to guarantee you next year's budget is going to have teeth in it, because they're going to be biting at you because we won't have any money that we borrowed to balance the budget. But that's for another year. Actually, we probably should use some of that borrowed money and surplus to bring down your property taxes. We didn't do that. And another question was, Mo Hill is approving 500 more apartments in downtown Toms River. Based on this decision, would you support recalling Mo Hill? Press 1 if yes, press 2 if no. If I don't run out of time, I'm going to get into development here in Toms River. That's always a tricky question. But who's doing these robocalls? No one knows who's contracted to conduct this poll. No one knows who's paid for this poll. No one's sure if this poll is political in nature. No one knows who wrote the questions. Did I see something on the bottom of the screen? I thought I seen something there. I thought I seen something flash there for a second. No one knows who may be motivated to conduct a poll like this. Who would? Someone speculated this could be the work of a possible Toms River ward opposition candidate for the upcoming election. I don't know if I'd go that far, but somebody's doing this. I just don't know who. We may never know who's behind this poll. Really? I'm sure we do. One thing's for sure is someone is trying to place doubt in the minds of TR voters. You guys got to make a decision. What's going to be interesting? A lot will happen with the GOP, Ocean County GOP convention. You'll see a lot of the cards on the table coming out of that March 4th meeting. So then we can start talking some real politics. But we're going to break the commercial right now. Then we'll come back with the future of development in Toms River. You're watching the Toms River Show. I'll be right back.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate controlled facility equipped with state of the art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201 867 2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Most women who give birth recover without problems, but any woman can have complications after the birth of a baby. Learn the post-birth warning signs, such as fever, headache, chest pain, shortness of breath, increased bleeding, or thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else. Knowing these can save your life or the life of someone that you love. Trust your instincts. If you feel something is wrong, call and get evaluated by your healthcare provider. If your symptoms get worse or you do not hear back from your physician, call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
We're back. Tom's River Show. Me here, you there. One of those recall questions had to do with development. Development was a big issue in the election 4 years ago, where the Democrats, they took all the ward seats with the exception of Maria Maruca, who didn't exactly win the landslide. She had I think she won by 204, 208 votes. It will be a big question again in this ward elections coming up this year. Now, development is necessary. Smart development is necessary. Good example is you stay at your present rate of pay for 10 years. You're going to go broke because all your expenses go up. And the same thing with the municipality. Expenses go up. So the municipality's got to figure out ways to raise revenues without digging into your pocket. We just legalized weed. We should be dedicating, and listen, Tom's River's got to have dispensaries to make money on the weed. That money could be dedicated to property tax relief. You, the residents of Tom's River, have to make a decision. What size city you want to be? Do you want to be a township, or do you want to grow it into a city? That's all what development comes into. You have some big sites. You have that big cleanup site, the Sigbee? Was it Sigba? We got a picture of it there somewhere, a little pop-up. This site is a development site. Any good piece of land is a good development site right now. Tom's River housing market is up 15% in the last year. It's pretty much COVID-driven. You've got to decide what kind of development do you want. Do you want residential development? There's no jobs involved with residential. I can go through Jersey City's redevelopment, the boom in the last 30 years, and where it landed us. Do you maybe want to develop light industry and assembly? Warehousing. You look at municipalities, like I mentioned, North Bergen. North Bergen managed to keep their taxes low because of Sacco's development. He's got on the east side of Route 1 and 9, on the west side of Route 1 and 9, pretty much all industrial there. And there's ratables there that don't drain city services. On the east side of Tunley Avenue is residential. Secaucus, New Jersey is very much like that, where there's residential and industrial. Jersey City was that way, but now we're developing residential units on all our industrial sites. So somewhere down the line, you're not going to live and work in Jersey City because we're not going to have any jobs, which is one of the problems we have in Jersey City now. There's no jobs. One, residential development has a cost. You got infrastructure. There's going to be sewers and water pipes and, things of that nature. And there's drains on city services. Are there going to be abatements involved? There are abatements involved. They can go as long as 30 years. Tom's River should study Jersey City on the impact of what we did coming out of the 80s into the impact of today. Because some of those abatements that we gave out in the 80s and the 90s, they're still running. Abatements helped Jersey City grow, but it also hurt Jersey City. We weren't paying into the school budget with those taxes for a very long time. Mayor Fulop, one of the guys I talked about, the trifecta of great mayors, he hasn't issued, I think, an abatement for a residential complex in like 3 years. He changed how abatements would be handled. He had abatement zones. What kind of abatements would be available there? But he basically got to the point where he's against abatements. You got an abatement now, you're going to have to pay into the school taxes. You're going to have to pay into affordable housing. If you're going to build a project, there's got to be a component of affordable housing. There's so many changes Mayor Fuller put into the abatement and the affordable housing component, and that abatements now will pay into school taxes. We didn't do that in Jersey City for a long time. The state, we paid a token amount of money toward the school budget, and that's coming home to roost right now. We're looking at a $300 million hole in the school budget next year. You're going to have to fund the infrastructure I mentioned before. Water, sewer, schools. Schools got to be built. You have all this residential, you're going to have schools. You got to put the schools somewhere. And one of the things we did in Jersey City, we built high-rises on a footprint that had like a 4 or 6 unit apartment building. Then wondered why we had sewer problems. And, the sewer keeps breaking, water lines keep breaking. We were overtaxing our infrastructure. Mayor, he keeps talking about Mayor Phillips, sounds like a campaign commercial. He started in the last 4 years to upgrading all our sewer and water. The MUA of Jersey City, they're cutting up the streets all over, putting in new sewer and water pipes. You have to make a decision, Tom's River, on your redevelopment. Do you want to stay a little town? Do you want to grow into a city? It's up to you on the future of your city, your town, I should say, because it is a township. It's up to you. And I remind you, you get the government you vote for. As we come into the election cycles, pay attention. We're going to break the commercial. You're watching the Tom's River Show. I'll be right back.
Pen and Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at penandpencilproperties.com. Pen and Pencil Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
It has actually changed my life. It's wonderful to be in recovery. I'm also a grandpa, a great-grandpa. I found joy in being abstinent from use.
I'm a family member, I'm a productive member of society, I'm a dog owner, things like that. I'm a fiance. So I think that recovery means on such a broad scale, there's so many different layers to what recovery means to me.
We're just like everyone else. We have heart and soul. It's just that we have this substance abuse disorder and that we're dealing with that. And if anything, it makes us a little bit stronger.
The most important thing for people in the communities to know is that they're just like anyone else, and that they don't necessarily want to be doing the things that they're doing, and it's a chronic illness and it's a chronic disease that needs to be addressed as so.
We're back. You're watching the Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here. You were there. Hopefully we're educating you a little bit, entertaining you, informing you, all that good stuff. Development, it's always a touchy subject, but there is a necessary evil. I am a big believer in what Mayor Sacco in North Bergen does, Mayor Ganelli in Seahawk is, where there's really two cities. You got the industrial part of the city and the residential. The industrial, it doesn't drain the city services like residential does, and it has job components. So people can actually live and work in those towns. Now, not everybody's going to be a doctor or a lawyer, so you got to have a mixture of various industries. And it works in those towns. Probably, North Bergen is probably one of the best run towns in the state of New Jersey, maybe the United States. Probably Mo Hill and the city councils probably go up to North Bergen, hang out with those people for a while. Actually, wouldn't hurt. I always compare Tom's River to Jersey City, smaller version, but really the same issues. It wouldn't hurt for Mo and the council to go up and hang out with Mayor Fulop and his council for a while. And especially being a new administration with Mo Hill and many of the council people, to sit there and just pick Mayor Fulop's brain as to what was like, what you had to deal with when you came in and where you are today. Because that first administration, first term of Fulop, There was a lot of ups and downs, but he's seen his way through it. The Senate has approved early voting. You got early voting picture? I don't know if we have an early voting picture. I don't know what that picture would even look like. The Senate approved it, and it's got to go through the Assembly, and then the governor's got to sign it. It's almost like a sure thing. The Golden Dome. There's a lot of problems with early voting. You know, for like 245 years now in the United States, we had Election Day. And every election, it gets a little easier as technology can. You go 100 years ago, you were waiting forever to hear results. You know, there was campaigning by trains and all that when you had a presidential election. If we go early voting, there is issues, and here's what's wrong with it. Election Day is Election Day. Let it be a standalone vote, and it should be a vote-in-person Election Day. I was against moving all the elections to November. I really believe the May municipal elections separated us, and you were able to concentrate on those issues. But we always talk about the expense. Well, those elections are expensive. Well, how much do you think you're going to add to an election when it's 15 days of early voting? Yeah, people got to be hired for those 15 days of early voting. There's extra manpower. You know, we moved everything to November under the guise of, save the municipalities money. Well, no, it isn't now because we're extending early voting, so somebody has to be working those 15 days before. Absentee voting, I have no problem with that. You know, if you're out of this city or you're out of this state, we want you to vote. Do an absentee. I got a problem with mail-in voting if we're non-COVID. We can go vote in person. If I can go to ShopRite, I can vote in person. If I go Home Depot, I can go vote in person. Those physically unable to go, technology and probably is the future, probably have those people vote by a tablet or an iPad or a smartphone with some, election official there. They can go to the nursing homes, the senior centers, and do that if that is a problem. If you can bank on your tablet and your smartphone, or you can gamble, you can vote via that. That's somewhere in the future. Early voting 15 days before Election Day, a lot of campaigns don't hit their stride until those final 2 weeks. That's the final push. That's your get out the vote push. Get the information out. Get as much commercials out there. Get the debates. And as a person who has produced many a televised debates, I did the Toms River mayoral debates. I did the GOP primary debates. I've done mayoral debates, senator debates, freeholder debates, all these kind of debates, council debates. I try to schedule them as close as you can to Election Day so we can get to the point where the questions are as relevant as they can be, knowing what that situation is for that community or that state as we go into Election Day. If you're voting 15 days before the election, then watching that debate is not doing anything for you. You already made your vote. That candidate is not going to be able to catch your attention, to change your mind, to vote his way or her way. And there was talk about people who voted early in the last presidential election who wanted to change their votes. Too late. You voted early. Again, as long as we're non-COVID, we can vote in person. Let's vote in person. Most of the networks, when they do their debates, they get as close as possible to the Election Day. There's a reason for that. Like I said, for 245 years, Election Day in the United States was Election Day, and we all went out and we voted on that day. All right, we're out of time. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.